It's a mountain wilderness with towering peaks and rock faces hung with clouds, formed when a supervolcano exploded more than 420 million years ago. A main road runs straight through the middle and gives visitors easy access to its spectacular views.
But driving through this great glen doesn't do it justice. To experience this huge landscape fully and to uncover its secret history, I'm going to walk it. And on a rainy day like today, it's easy to identify with its history of clan warfare and the infamous massacre of 1692. This is where the familiar story of the MacDonald clan took place. 38 members of the clan were murdered by their treacherous neighbours, the Campbells. And so the Victorians would flock here to soak up the morbid atmosphere. The south side of the valley is bordered by the majestic mountains known as the Three Sisters, and they conceal a secret chapter in the story of the massacre. On that cold February night, running from the sound of gunfire, some of the MacDonald clan fled here and began to climb. I'm following their route into the mist. Certainly a wild and windy day. It isn't the easiest path. How are we going to get over this? But the place I'm heading for has a long history and many names. This place is known as the Hanging Valley, the Lost Valley, the Valley of Capture, and the Hidden Valley. It's pretty difficult to find. The very inaccessibility of this place is why it's managed to stay so secret. It's a tough old scramble. And generally I find the better the scramble, the better the reward. And finally, I find the special place the MacDonalds were heading for on that cold night, more than 300 years ago. And there she is, the Hidden Valley, looking very moody under the mist. Definitely worth the climb. Invisible from the glen, this flat valley floor is entirely unexpected. The treacherous climb to this valley was the MacDonalds' only hope. It was their secret refuge, somewhere they knew they'd be safe. Today, it's a peaceful place, a part of Glencoe you can have entirely to yourself.
Beyond the glen, I'm heading deeper into the Highlands, to Carrower. Somewhere many pass through, but few ever take the time to explore. But even here, I'm following the trail of those intrepid Victorian tourists. And today, I'm relying on a triumph of 19th century technology to reach a place almost forgotten by the 21st. I'm up early to join the passengers on the Caledonian Sleeper at Cranelarrick. It's an iron road linking the rest of Britain to the more remote areas of the Highlands. This is the West Highland Line, and incredibly, recently it's been voted the best railway journey in the world. And the majority of these people here would have got on in London about 12 hours ago. And here they are, waking up to views like this.
This extraordinary feat of engineering opened in 1894 to service the tourists desperate to jump on the tartan bandwagon. But it was a troublesome line to construct, running across miles of soggy peat bog which threatened to consume the tracks. It was so ruinously expensive that the builders joked the bog was not just swallowing the line, but also their money.
Well, these views and this scenery is hardly surprising because we are in the heart of the Highlands. But what is surprising is where I'm getting off.
This train is my route to a secret place. But as I head through Rannoch Moor, it seems an unpromising spot to disembark. All signs of life have disappeared. There's no roads and no houses here. But there is a station. This is Carrower, officially the highest and most remote railway station in the UK. Most people take this train directly north. Few ever get off here. It redefines the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, remote is certainly one word to describe this place. It's a quaint, lovely little station. It feels like a toy station, a model railway, you know, with like spongy hills and little bits of gravel placed for your stones. Matchbox there. Yeah. And there's no taxis. There's no tannoys. There's no barriers to get through. And a whopping view.
When Carrower Station was built, it didn't even appear on the public timetable. It was used exclusively by guests of the private estate here, who came to hunt and shoot.
You have to feel grateful to the Victorians for the colossal effort that they went to putting this line in. If it wasn't for them, people wouldn't be able to experience this. I mean, the nearest road, even these days, is over 10 miles away.
But there is one unexpected home comfort. A small cafe run by Lucy Milnes. And I want to know what it's like to live and work somewhere so remote.
It does look idyllic, but obviously it has its complications, doesn't it, living
It
out
does,
here?
yeah. There's things that you can't really think of before you come here, you know, and then you get here and you think, oh yeah, you know, something that seems so normal to somebody, you know, is actually quite a big thing for us, like the rubbish. You know, it's like, how do you get rid of your rubbish?
You can't just put the bins out, can you?
No, there's no one to come and collect the bins. Well, there is, but that's 16 miles away.
16 miles away?
So it is a bit of a trip.
That is yeah. So, I'm just going to put the bins out. I'll be back in an hour.
Yeah, at least.
How busy are you then?
There are some days you don't see anyone for a good few hours, so it can be really quiet. you know, and you watch the trains go by and no one comes up.
And do you all run to the window when you hear a train arriving? You know, you run up to the glass and look through and
We did to start with, yeah. It was like, everybody train, stop what you're doing. Yeah, and count how many people get off. So, but yeah, kind of not doing that so much now.
Corowa is a moment frozen in time. A window on an ancient landscape opened up by intrepid Victorian engineers. You know, so many people only ever witness this landscape by looking at it and whizzing past it from a train carriage, but if you do make the effort, come up here, just fill your lungs with this air, you really feel a part of it. And if it wasn't for that tiny little train station at the bottom, this would only ever be the privilege of some very extreme walkers. Leaving Corowa and heading north, the landscape tells its own turbulent stories. Mountains wear the ancient scars of glaciers and volcanoes. But Scotland's coasts are also rich and beautiful. North of Aberdeen, the Forvey Nature Reserve is home to the largest range of sand dunes in Scotland. For Alex Geddes, the coast between here and the village of Colliston is his own piece of secret Britain. A special place where he can escape city life.
I think when you look around here, you realise how beautiful the area is, and really you could be anywhere in the world at all. Who would believe this is Scotland? It gives you such an inner feeling of peace and tranquility. And that's why we love coming out here so much. If you just listen, we're 10-15 minutes away from a major city, but here you're so alone, tranquility, you can sit here for ages. And when I leave here, I sometimes feel as if I've been on a week's holidays and I've only maybe been out 1 or 2 hours. This is the area it's called Hackley Bay, a beautiful little inlet just south of Colliston. And it's so lovely sitting down there, be out to the wind, just enjoy the sea coming in. I've got to say this is probably my favourite place. My mind's never far away from here. And although my head may well be in work, my heart is actually out here in the nature reserve itself.
Beyond Forvey is one of the best known features of the north of Scotland, Loch Ness. This is part of the Great Glen, a huge flooded fault line, a watery divide running from the east to the west coast. Here, the land meets the North Atlantic, and 550 Hebridean islands are strung out along 240 miles of coastline. I'm heading to North Uist in the Outer Hebrides in search of a precious, secret habitat. This island is no slouch when it comes to beauty. The white shell sand beaches and turquoise water look almost Caribbean in the sunshine. It's hard to believe I'm still in Britain.
tell you, it's a real treat for me to be here. Ever since I was a little lad, I've always wanted to come to the Outer Hebrides. I think even its name, the Outer Hebrides, conjures up images of a place that is completely inaccessible.
It is undeniably hard to get here, but it's far from deserted. 5,000 people live and farm here, and the island is also home to thousands of birds. I'm meeting conservationist Julia Gallagher.
Julia, how are you doing?
Hi,
all right?
Matt. Great.
What's going on out here then?
Well, just having a look actually. We've got some eider ducks just at the front of the shore here. You'll see them floating around.
Oh, just popping around.
Yeah, they're females, but they've actually got some youngsters with them.
Oh, lovely.
But just saying, what we've got coming here? Ah, right on cue, we've got some oyster catchers.
Oh, look at them, yeah.
You see the wonderful red beak, red legs, and you hear them before you see them.
Yeah, it's absolutely delightful here.
Uist's staggering beauty has a purpose. The land has a sandy secret which bursts into life every spring and summer. A wildflower meadow which seems to grow out of the beach. This is the maca, sand blown on top of peat to create a unique habitat. Maca is only found in the British Isles, and 70% of it is right here in the Hebrides. It's a paradise for bees, insects and birds.
In May and June, all of these hills just come completely alive with all the birds that are really vocal. So you have your lapwings that make this wonderful, evocative call. So they're really very much reliant on this type of habitat to put their nests down. And it's essentially all to do with the open areas of ground. And birds like lapwing, they're ground nesters, and they just need to dig a little scrape out. It's not a very elaborate nest.
Right.
And they also need to be able to see predators, so having this sort of low vegetation, they can see for miles around.
But there is one bird that owes its very existence to the maca, the elusive corncrake.
That's the one that everybody knows, and most bird watchers come up to see, or they're very lucky if they can see it, but you can certainly hear it. It's a very distinctive call.
The corncrake was once familiar in meadows throughout Britain, but intensive farming has pushed it towards the brink of extinction. Here on Uist, it's thriving in the safe haven of the maca. It owes its survival to the unique way this land is managed. Crofters still use traditional low-intensity farming methods to grow barley, oats and rye for animal feed. John Allen McClellan is a crofter here. He's working hard to preserve these farming traditions, and with them, the maca.
How proud are you, John Allen, of having the maca here?
Well, extremely proud of having the maca. Yes, when you think of how hard people have crofted over the years to have the habitats we've got here, if it had been done any other way, bar crofting, it wouldn't be there. To be quite honest with you, the maca just wouldn't be there. It would have probably blown away years ago.
And how would you sum up a crofter's life in the Outer Hebrides?
I've been on Uist all my life. I've brought up and worked on a croft from the age of 4 or 5. I think it's just a fantastic way to live. Eh? It's not. It's probably not the best paid job in the world, but it's a cracking way to live, I would say.
Yeah. that your ringtone? Have you got the...
No, this is
Oh, I thought it was...
No,
it's your ringtone.
It's a local boy here that plays the pipe.
Is he? That's great. Here we are, just stood on a lovely little hillock, looking out across the most spectacular landscape, and then a piper starts up.
Yeah. You'd only get that in Euston.
Remote and inaccessible, Uist is full of life, a secret world of productive and protected beauty.
Back on the mainland, I'm moving on towards Ullapool, in search of a place that will allow me a glimpse of Scotland's prehistoric lost world. But the further north I go, the harder it's getting. Today, the weather and some of Scotland's least popular residents have taken against me. This is a wild and fierce environment. Today it's a summer's day, and I'm being pelted by rain and eaten alive by midges. But it seems that our ancestors refused to be put off by the bugs. These fields are filled with remnants of Iron Age settlements. There are signs of habitation here dating back more than 6,000 years. Prehistory is breaking through the surface of the land here, and as I walk on, I'm heading further back in time. I've been following the river for about 2 miles upstream now, and it's just got louder and louder. But I still can't see anything.